Some other terms I want to draw your attention to in this poem have to do with, let's see, I would say consonants, assonants, and synecdoche or metonymy. And we could probably debate whether we think it's one or the other when we get to that example. But these are all terms that are concepts, terms/concepts, that you want to check for in your own poems, or the poems that you are going to be teaching to the class. So consonants is the repetition of consonant sounds, but not at the beginning of words. It's more like somewhere in the middle, probably, of a word. If we check the definition of this, we will see that, and sorry, but I can't scoot my frame over, so let me just read this to you. Consonants, the recurrence of similar sounds, especially consonants, in close proximity. But that's not the best definition. I'm going to go to this one and kind of show you what it says. Consonants refers to the repetitive sounds produced by consonants within a sentence or phrase. So we're looking at consonant sounds not at the beginning of words, but again, probably in the middle of words, or could be maybe at the ends of words. Alright, so let me go back to the poem for a second and take a look at some of the episodes of consonants that we see. So in this first line, I had seen her before. Her and before. Or, to me that sounds similar. You might say that's not close enough. So we could try another example. So let me go down a few lines. Okay, this one. On her side of the world. Her and world. That's much closer. I think that would probably qualify as an example of consonants because we have the sound, right? And to me that emphasizes the fact that it's her side of the world. And it's almost as if on that side of the world, she takes possession of that. That's what the speaker is really noticing more than anything else. On her side of the world, the white world, the world that's made up of white society, right? So, and then when she's at the creek, it's almost like that becomes like her world, right? So those are two big examples of consonants that I saw. Perhaps if I looked more closely at the rest of the poem, I might see another instance of that. But I'm going to go ahead and move on to assonance. So assonance is let me pull this up on the screen. So assonance takes place when two or more words close to one another repeat the same vowel sound, but start with different consonant sounds. And these definitions are in your Big Bedford book, so I do recommend that you go and look at the examples and the definitions that are in there. But I'm just trying to supplement our understanding of this. So, and then some examples. We light fire on the mountain. I, right? I feel depressed and restless. That should be restless. Go and mow the lawn. We have that long O sound. All right, so that's essentially how it works. That's what you want to look for. So let's go ahead and go back to the poem for a moment. All right, so probably the first instance I notice of in the poem of assonance would be behind those fiery branches. So the long I in behind and fiery. Also, I would point to a little bit later in the poem, even though it occurs in two separate lines, a water snake crawled along. Those sound really close to me. Those sound, in my mind, those sound really close. Aw, sort of sound. So I can see that being assonance. But beyond just pointing these sounds out, we also want to think about what they're doing in the poem. Like, in what ways are they contributing meaning? So I would probably say that I already mentioned the other example I gave, but probably with this episode of assonance, the ah sound tends to, I think, slow things down. So crawl, this kind of a slow word, and it creates a slower image in our minds. Along just extends the fact that the snake is crawling along a length of the oak, right? So it kind of slows things down. Maybe it represents the speaker kind of focusing on that snake, and maybe that's a moment of realization for him. Maybe it's an important moment for him. I mean, he doesn't pay too much attention to the fact that the fishing cork dances and disappears. I mean, he realizes that happens, but then he can't move, right? He can't move. And then he notices the snake crawling along the stunted oak. Another instance of assonance occurs when he is referring to what Cleanthe did. Let's see. Oh yeah, hind legs, a smile on his face. So hind and smile, which to me places emphasis on Cleanthe's actions and the fact that he's enjoying it. It just emphasizes that idea to me. Let's see. Perhaps we could call this consonants, but this line, suck holes and whirlpools, both end in z, right? Holes, pools, right? Pools, holes, a similar sound. That might draw our attention. That might be stretching it, but I did want to bring that to your attention and just kind of help you see sounds that you can listen for in a poem. And again, especially with alliteration, you're looking for sound. You're not looking for the letter. It has to be the sound that you're focused on. Alright, so I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to talk about synecdoche and metonymy in the next video, and we're going to get closer and closer to then talking about theme.